When he came into the WWF as part of the Invasion angle, Rob Van Dam was one of the most popular acts from the old ECW. He was quickly put into a main event position and pushed on TV each and every week. Following the Invasion, Van Dam would capture the Intercontinental and Tag Team Championships, and fans were calling out for an RVD main event run. It was just about to happen, but a run-in with the Law sent his push up into smoke, and Van Dam was never the same again. I am Luke Owen, and this is the real reason Rob Van Dam lost the WWE Championship. In 2005, following a very successful DVD that charted the rise and fall of ECW, WWE put on a reunion show for Extreme Championship Wrestling at the Hammerstein Ballroom called One Night Stand. The show featured ECW legends like The Sandman, Sabu, Mike Awesome, Masato Tanaka, and Tommy Dreamer, and it was well received by fans and critics. Well, that was a hell of a lot of fun. No one who watched One Night Stand will ever forget it. The show was so successful that WWE started to think about relaunching ECW, signing all of the old talent and premiering a new weekly TV show with live events, merchandise, and pay-per-views. The idea was to use former ECW talent to help get new guys over before they moved up to the big leagues. Essentially developmental for WWE's Raw and SmackDown, kind of like what NXT is now. The figurehead of this show would be Rob Van Dam, and he would be ECW's top face alongside Sabu and Kurt Angle, who was drafted to the brand shortly before it launched. At WrestleMania 22, prior to the ECW relaunch announcement, Rob Van Dam won the Money in the Bank contract and revealed that he would cash it in against John Cena at the second ECW One Night Stand. This was to be a launching pad for the fledgling brand, and it featured one of the most heated main events in WWE history. The crowd in the Hammerstein Ballroom were desperate to not only see their guy Rob Van Dam beat John Cena for the WWE Championship, but to see the hated Super Cena lose the coveted title. The finish of the match saw Edge, who had wrestled earlier in the night, come out and spear John Cena. RVD then hit the 5-star frog splash and became the new WWE Champion. The place went absolutely insane as the ring announcer introduced RVD as the new WWE Champion. That is the top moment of my career. It's not because taking the WWE Championship was a goal of mine. We were bringing ECW back as a third brand after that, and it was a huge success for me personally in my career. Prior to RVD winning the championship, Paul Heyman had said that they would kill the WWE Championship and rechristen it the ECW Championship. Instead, RVD revealed that he would be a dual champion, the first and only man to be both ECW and WWE champion at the same time. He successfully defended the WWE Championship against Edge at Vengeance and the ECW Championship against Kurt Angle on ECW's TV show on Sci-Fi. And then it all came crashing down. On Sunday, July 2nd, 2006, following a house show, Rob Van Dam and Sabu were pulled over by law enforcement for doing 73 in a 50-mile-an-hour zone, and they were accused of having drugs on them. The officer questioned why Van Dam was driving without a shirt on, and why their car smelled of marijuana. RVD was found with 18 grams of marijuana and Vicodin without a prescription on his person, and Sabu was found with a smoking pipe and several unrecognizable pills, also without a prescription. The following day, the local newspaper ran a full-page article on the arrest. And for the very first time in the company's long history, their world champion was busted for possession of drugs. Seriously, just think about it. It's the first one. Think about it. Vince was he was obviously for having his world champion busted for drugs. But at the same time, he's chuckling about it. It's only marijuana. He wasn't happy, but he also wasn't as livid as he can get sometimes about some things, because he likes Rob. It was unfortunate, but happened. It caused chaos and we had to change plans. That following weekend, WWE were presenting Saturday Night Main Event on NBC with Rob Van Dam and Edge in a rematch for the WWE Championship. But the decision was made to take the belt off Van Dam on the Monday Night Raw beforehand. The advertised match was a triple threat tag team match with RVD, Cena and Edge picking respective partners. But it was changed to a straight triple threat for the championship, where Edge ended up winning the title. The Rated R Superstar was actually scheduled to win the belt at Saturday Night Main Event anyway, but RVD also dropped his ECW Championship to the Big Show the day after when Paul Heyman turned heel on Mr. Pay-Per-View. RVD was then suspended. I had dropped the ball and that was very disheartening. It was definitely a low point for me. After the 3 count, all the fans were chucking their litter into the ring. The disappointing vibration on that went straight to my heart. I rolled out of the ring down to the floor to avoid the debris, and I felt so low. Many wrestlers assumed both guys would be fired immediately and were thus surprised with WWE's handling of the situation. Obviously, if Danny Doring and Roadkill had been arrested, they'd likely have been fired immediately. But the reality is that life isn't fair in the wrestling business, and RVD and Sabu are seen as 2 of the biggest stars of this new ECW brand. Van Dam would return to ECW a month later, but he never recaptured the ECW Championship and was never again in the hunt for the WWE Championship. He would leave the company 1 year later in 2007. SummerSlam is great, but what about when it isn't? And check out some of these wrestler versus celebrity fights. Click these videos to the left to find out more. Press subscribe and support WrestleTalk on Patreon. I have been Luke Owen, and that was Reasons.